oftentimes when we see practices that say they're creating plans with their team, and those plans get executed well, but the outcome doesn't change, then everybody's frustrated because they're solving the wrong problem. And what that leads to, I call it the illusion of the quick fix. So I want to bring back this incompetence versus pain chart, right? The more incompetent you are, right? If you're highly incompetent, if you're a 10 at incompetent, there's also a 10 of pain. Think of the movie Dumb and Dumber, right? Very incompetent guys, very painful to watch them and their mistakes. In this red area, once you get up into the incompetent level, you get into the illusion of the quick fix. And the illusion of the quick fix is based around the fact that you don't even know enough to diagnose the problem correctly. So you go find the silver bullet or the quick fix or the one-legged stool or the shiny object because you think that's going to solve it for you, but it turns out you couldn't even diagnose the problem to begin with. It's tantamount to going out and buying some fancy new laser, but you can't even diagnose which tooth you need to point the laser at, right? So this gets into this vicious cycle where we have pain and problems, we rationalize it, right? And then the problems at some point, because we're incompetent, we look for a quick fix. We misdiagnose the problem, we move to a quick fix. We take the ibuprofen, we take the Tylenol. And inevitably what that does is it creates more problems for us. If we don't truly know, if we haven't diagnosed the right problem, then anything we're doing is running the wrong way down the field. We're not working towards solving the problem. So we still have the original problem plus whatever other stuff we've done that's now created more work and more problems. And that's exactly what that does. More problems, more pain. And then ultimately what we start doing is we start telling ourselves stories. We start rationalizing, right? Our brain is phenomenal at making up great stories. My 3-year-old, already her brain is very good at making up great stories. Every time something happens, she has a great story. And I've told her, Adeline, I don't need another story. Why? How did this happen? How did Cheerios end up looking like the Oregon Trail through every room in our house? And she starts to tell me a story, right? So, and inevitably, as we get into more rationalizing, because we're still incompetent, we get more quick fixes. And this cycle just keeps growing and growing and growing and growing because we keep looking for more fixes because we're still incompetent and we still haven't diagnosed the right problem. So what do? We go have more quick fixes and this graph just keeps on growing. There's a great resource that I'm about to give you. And it goes exactly to this quick fix mentality. Does anybody know Michael Gerber? The E-Myth was a great book. And when did that book come out, David? 2000?
Yeah.
I mean, it's been around for 20 years. Yeah. Sold how many millions of copies? I mean, this is
multiple editions.
This is a staple.
Yep.
So Michael, the original author, came out and he wrote an E-Myth for dentists. And what Michael talks about in his book is what he calls the entrepreneurial seizure. And I love this concept. This is one of my favorite things to talk about. When we have an entrepreneurial seizure, it is oftentimes the progression of all these things I've talked about. The problem, the pain, the rationalization, the misdiagnosis, and the quick fix. Rinse, repeat, and recycle. And what the quick fix often is the seizure. Oh God, if I just had more new patients. Oh man. And Michael talks about this seizure that business owners have or dentists have. I got to get this laser. I got to get this CAT scan machine. Or if I just had more new patients, and they get super, super hyper focused on this one quick fix thing, this one thing that's going to solve the problem. And the reality is, it's not. The quick fix never solves it's like taking an ibuprofen. It's like a shot of Novocaine. You get numbed up, the pain goes away, and then when it comes back, if you haven't solved the problem, it's twice as bad, right? You can't fix an abscess by just giving you shots of Novocaine or lidocaine. You gotta fix the abscess. And that's what these seizures lead to. It's the misdiagnosis of the root problem that leads us to thinking we're spending money. Everybody loves spending money and buying things. So we feel good. We've bought something. We feel like we've diagnosed the problem, and then we go implement it and it doesn't fix it. So then we go do something else and it doesn't fix it. And then we get into this cycle that I've been talking about. The reality is there's only two things that we need to create. There's only two outcomes that we're trying to create in a dental practice. And those two things are this. We're trying to create more money and more time. And those are really the only two things that any of us are trying to create. Business owners, people, humans in general. We're trying to create more time and more money, because those are the two things that exist in this universe, in this world. The reality is we can always go create more money, right? There's always more money to go find and create. Time is finite. Time is truly finite. Until that movie that came out, people figure out how to add time to their lives. That's the end of it. There's no more.